Hello from JK Jain School. Today we are going to see the fourth chapter of 12th standard, that is consumption and investment function. Okay. Before going to the chapter, me take you to the 11th standard where we have learned about the consumption function. What is consumption? What is this all about? What do you mean by consumption? What you understand from the word? Consumption is nothing but a word, a something that gives you satisfaction. We remember that in 11th we have studied that there is a want and there is a need. When the need and want mix together, when the need and wants mix together, that's what the satisfaction takes place. See here, we have some wants and we have some needs. We have income. We are ready to spend. By spending, we'll have our want will get satisfied. This whole process is known as consumption. This whole process is known as consumption. So, a person had some wants, a person had some need. After that, he has income. That income he will spend for himself, and for that he will get the satisfaction from that wants and need. That process is what we know as consumption. How? For example, I am earning a 10,000 rupees in a month as my income. When I have a 10,000 rupees as my income, I have some wants that I want to eat apple, I want to live in a good house, I want a car or something like this. All my wants are there, my needs are there. When out of my income, whatever I am able to satisfy my need, whatever thing, like for example, I am able to eat the apple, I am living a good house, these are the things that I can manage with the 10,000 rupees of income. When this want mix with the income, the wants get satisfied with this income, the wants get satisfied with income, that is what we call consumption. A person has a need, a person had a want, when he expend the money for satisfying that want, so that is what we call the consumption. So in a simple term, person, everyone, every individual, every human being, God has created in a such a way that he will have some of the wills, he will have some of the wants, he will have some of the needs. Someone will have a needs of a good house, he may be having a good stuff, need a good car, anything. A person desire never ends. That's we say the human psychology, human wants is never ending. So whenever he had a wants, whenever he has a desire, whenever he has a need, that the income he has, when he spend that need and income, that is what we call consumption. Easy? So the consumption function means a functional relationship between two aggregates. One is total national income and total consumption. So there is a relationship between, there is a perfect partnership between the two aspects, income and consumption. When you have an income, you can have a consumption. When you are earning 1 lakh rupees in a month, you can have a good car, you can have a good bungalow, you can have a good standard of living, you will have all the enjoyment, all the things, and you can satisfy your needs. At the same time, when a person does not have, he is earning 10,000 or 5,000 a month, he will have a limited consumption, but still the consumption will be there, the consumption has to be there. So it's a relationship between total national income and total consumption. See, with the help of this, you can understand in such a simple way. We have income, there is a spending, and the person inside it is what the consumption. He is the one who consumes. So I am the person, I have the income, I spend the income on something. For example, I have a lot of desire in participating in reality source, any reality source, okay? So for that I am spending my income, that gives me satisfaction, that is my consumption. That is what my consumption is. So in a simple term, a consumption means a person has an income. He is ready to spend the income. After spending the income, when he satisfies his needs, when he satisfies his wants, that is what we call consumption. Okay? Let's understand with the psychological aspect with the mathematical formula. This is the mathematical formula. C, consumption is equal to function into income. Function into income. So C means consumption, F means function, Y is income. So with the help of one data, we have tried to understand what the consumption function is all about. See, we have took income as a Y, consumption as a C, and saving as a S. When you have zero income, when you don't have an income, there is a consumption. What is this? How you will say that when a person does not have an income, how will he have a consumption? You said that there should be an income. So you will say, sir, there was an income, there should be an income. The income when you spend, that is what we call consumption. Then the person is having zero income. How there is a 20 consumption? See, a need of a human is undefined. Okay, whether he earns or not, he has to make some of the expenses. He need a rice, he need a wheat, he need a food item that he has to take, although he earns or not. He need a house to have a shelter, right? Although he earns or not. So there are certain things, there are certain aspects that we need in a life, although we are working or not, although we have income or not, although we are earning or not. So that's a reason they don't have income, still they have the consumption. So what will happen in the savings? When you don't have income, still you spend, means there will be a negative saving. You will not have a saving. Then the income is 60 rupees. What happened? The consumption will be 70 rupees. So a person has a 60 rupees income and he is spending 70 rupees as a consumption, means again 10 rupees is a loss. He will not have any income. He will not have any saving. When the income increases to 120, his consumption is also 120. So he is on 10,000 rupees. He has spent full 10,000 rupees. Saving will be zero. Saving will be nil. Then his income again increases to 180 and the consumption increases to 140. So he has on 18,000 rupees. He has spent 15,000 rupees. Now 3,000 is a saving for him. The same way 10,000 is a saving. Again he increased 240. He has spent 20. So he is having the saving of 20. Next he has increased to 300. He is spending 270. Again 30 rupees is a profit, a saving. He has increased his income to increase his income to 360. Now the consumption is 320, so he is having the 40 rupees saving. Way that there is an income or there is not an income, whether there is a high income or there is an unemployment, the consumption will be sure. The consumption should be there and the saving will be according to them. When there is not at all income, still there is some of the consumption and the saving will be in negative figure. But there, when there is a perfect income, so perfectly consumption will be there and there will be no saving. Then the income is so high, when the income is so vibrant, what happened? The consumption will remain low only and the saving will be more. With the help of this diagram, let's understand. Income we have took as a x-axis and y-axis we have took as consumption. See, from 0 to here, that is what the consumption period starts. This is the consumption. C means consumption. So from 0 to this gap is known as autonomous consumption. Autonomous consumption, which means this is the period where you are earning or not. It's like there. So 0 to 60. So take it as it's a 60. So from 0 to 60, this was the period he didn't earn anything. Still, the person had the consumption. He didn't earn, but still he had a food, he had a house, he paid the rent, he paid the school fees for his child. Everything he has done. This expenses, this consumption is known as autonomous consumption, which means he is earning or not, he has to make some of the spends. He has to make some of the expenses. That is what we call consumption. We'll have a consumption line and the income will start from 0. So from here it's going the income. The meeting point is known as break-even point. BEP, break-even point. Here there will be no profit, there will be a no loss. There will be no profit, there will be no loss. See there? 120 you have income, 120 you have spent and there is a no saving. There is a saving is nil. So you have the income, you have spent the full income and you have nothing. That is what we call break-even point. And after this, see, after 120, 180, 243 and 360, there is this savings, this upper line, when income is going above the consumption, this period is known as saving. This entire period is known as saving. This is what we call saving. So a person has the income or he knows that has the income, he will have some of the consumption. Based on the consumption, the savings will be there. First, he will not at all have an income. That is what we call autonomous consumption. Still, he is not earning. Still, he has to make some of the consumption. After that, he reaches to the break-even point, where is no profit, no loss. Fully he will spend. And after that, whatever he spent, that's become the saving. Okay. Let's understand the technical attributes of the consumption function. What are the technical attributes to the consumption function? Let's see the propensities to consume. See, for average person and marginal aspect, average total income is 40,000, total consumption is 30,000, so saving will be 10,000. See, we have a person is there, Mr. X is there, he has earned 40,000 rupees in a month, he has spent 30,000 as a consumption, and the saving he made is a 30,000. So average is 75% of his salary is spent for the purpose of meeting the consumption, and this rest 25%, this rest 25% he is utilizing for the saving. Marginal means there is an increase of another 10,000. So now he has the income of 50,000. When he is increasing income, he is spending again 2,500. So out of 10,000, he is spending 2,500 as another consumption. Simple. There is a person, his income is 40,000 rupees. Out of 40, he has spent 30,000 rupees. 10,000 was expensive. 10,000 was a saving. But after that, his income was increased to another 10,000. In that 10,000, he has the 25,000. So basically, out of 100%, 75% he has spent for the consumption, and the rest 25% he has kept for the purpose of saving, right? There are four properties. There are four propensity to the consumption. Let's see. Point number 1, average propensity to consume. So, what is the average person, how he is consuming means, an average propensity to consume is in the ratio of consumption expenditure. So, how much he is expending for the purpose of satisfying his needs, that's what we study here. So, how much a person, for example, person name is Rahul is earning 10,000 rupees. How the Rahul is spending his money for satisfying his needs, this is what the study of that is called as APC. Consumption divided by income. The total consumption he does divided by total income. For example, he is having the consumption of 30,000 rupees and his income is 60,000 rupees. So, what does it mean? 20. This means 20. So, the 20 rupees, the 20,000, the 20%, the 2%, the exactly 50%, you can say that exactly 50% he is utilizing. So, 50% is spending, 50% he is having savings. So, this is what the application is all about. Next, marginal propensity to consume. So, what is the marginal propensity of consumer? A person has the income, how he marginally expects it. The change in the ratio of consumption and change in the income. So, what is the change in the income, and then when there is a change in income, how it changes in the consumption. So, for that, the formula is MPC is equal to change in consumption divided by change in income. He had 30,000 rupees. He had 30,000 rupees. Out of 30, he had changed at 40,000 rupees. Okay, and the income has reached to 80,000 rupees. So, this change 40 divided by, again there is a 50%. So, whatever change is there, the additional aspect you have to take it. Change in consumption divided by change in income. Next, we have average propensity to save. So, what is the average desirability to save? How much the person will save? The ratio of saving of income. So, here we identify the how much we are having the saving. What kind of saving we have? How the ratio of the saving is all about. To identify, we have formula APS is equal to saving divided by income. For example, he has a saving of 10,000 and the income is 40,000. So, identify 1 by 4. So, 1/4 of his income is a saving. 1/4 of his income is a saving. So, this way we will identify. Now, marginal saving we will identify. It means what is the change in the income? What is the change in the income and how this change has bring into the consumption while he has saving. So, he has the saving allotment 10,000. When there is a change, the saving has increased to 12,000. How it reacted to the income? So, identify that. We have formula MPS is equal to change in saving divided by change in income. So, with the help of, for example, 12,000 divided by 50,000, if you do means 1/5 of the income has been spent for the all these purposes. For example, simple way, consumption function is all about how much a person is earning and how the income is getting spent on his own purpose and for the family purpose. That's the reason income, spending, and the person who is enjoying the benefit is all about the consumption function. Thank you, students.